all yours. That must have been a fun podium to be on today. Congratulations, what a performance.
Yeah, I think I wasn't 10 years or so on
Really?
a podium, yeah. And there's one part for me that feels so happy for Kimi, and the guys made me go to the podium and say, this is your home place, you should go. But then I got a look on Giorgio, so he had a weekend that wasn't good, and I want to keep it balanced emotionally. So now it's about picking the team up, picking him up, and heading to Barcelona.
Obviously, you've achieved a lot since you've been in this sport with Mercedes, but it's not been the best stomping ground for you here, has it, in Monaco? So this one must be extra special. One, because of Kimi, but also because, Mercedes haven't been on the top step that often.
Yeah, exactly. It's always been a bit of a boogie track, and we've been close, but last time was 2019 that we won the race. So doing that feels good, and again, it's been home for so many years, and being able to, go home, shower, and not sure I can put my tracksuit on tonight because there's the gala, but it's going to be good.
Look, he's the youngest ever winner of the Monaco Grand Prix. We talked earlier this weekend, Toto, about how he's constantly surprising you, but the way that he pulled away today, create that 30-second gap, and then did it again under pressure from the restart from Lewis. It's just, it's precocious talent, is it not?
Yeah, it's unbelievable what he's able to deliver. That, he's having control. He's just at times 1.5 seconds quicker than everybody else, and then restarts and builds the gap. So it's really unbelievable.
Bono came on the radio at one point.
Just 1 second.
That's Kimi's father. Marco will hopefully try to get a word with him later, but obviously he's a busy man as well. Sorry.
But Bono came on the radio at one point, just as Kimi had set the fastest lap of the race, and said, that was the fastest lap of the race, Kimi. We don't need them. Was that from you?
It was from Bono first, then it came from me. Then I said to Bono, you got to tell him that he has half a minute advantage. And then he told him half a minute advantage, but he kept putting in those times. And then we thought maybe it's his rhythm.
I think it was the largest age gap, by the way, between two people on a podium in Monaco, or it might have been ever, between Lewis Hamilton and
Don't
Kimi.
tell Lewis.
We've got exactly. We've got a shot of you, though, talking to his partner, Kim Kardashian. I don't know if we can see it in here, but Sandra, anything you can tell us? What were you saying to Kim Kardashian a little bit earlier?
She's obviously, I know a bit from Lewis, how nice she is, and she's so genuine. There's a reason why people are as big in globally, because they're also genuine people. And I think from a minute of talking, I think she's.
No, just a final one though on George. As you said, you've got to put an arm around him, but that's didn't get helped obviously in the pit stop there. But what do you say to him now that he's sort of 68 points behind his young teammates?
We just need to keep going. This is a long championship. Last year, everybody was saying, well, this is Piastri's. And then it swung. Obviously, Montreal was a drama because we let him down with a possible 25 points. But this is a long championship.
Yeah, nightmare day for George. And this one's emotional. The last one, obviously, the failure. This one wasn't so much the problem. What did happen in the pit stop? Because obviously he didn't stop for his 5 seconds.
I think we were not completely ready of having him in here. We had a bit of a confusion ourselves on the strategy, and then he came in and we didn't hold him for 5 seconds like we should, and then we missed out on a on a P3 or P4. It's a shame.
Two sides to every story. Thanks for coming in and talking to us. Let you go and enjoy that one with Kimi's side of the garage. I'll take that from you. And let's go to the...
George, I just feel like you'd used up all your bad luck, and clearly that wasn't the case. Can we start just by talking about you not serving that penalty and clarify why? Can you explain why, when you did come in, the team didn't just react and serve the penalty then?
Well, I think firstly, I'm not too sure why we got a penalty, because I was on the pit limiter before the line. I released it after the line, but clearly there's a problem in the software and many drivers got penalties. Okay, 5 seconds, not ideal, but not the end of the world. And then in the pit stop, it's just major confusion, and getting a drive-through, the punishment doesn't fit the crime. So P3 down to P14.
I mean, it's so frustrating. We saw you go and try and have a word and plead your case.
Yeah.
What were you able to say, and can anything come of that?
No, I just asked, can we review it afterwards? Because I said if I serve the drive-through now, the race is done. and I was willing to serve the drive-through, the 5-second penalty on the following lap. I had a 20-second gap behind me to Gasly. I probably gained a tenth of a second through the pit lane with that software glitch, and ended up losing 12 positions because of it. So, yeah, I don't know.
What did they say?
It's rules are the rules. If you don't serve the penalty, it's a drive-through. So that's, I don't really know what to say. It's 2 races in a row. Could have been won the race last week. Could have maybe been P3, P4 today. It's 40 points down the drain for things outside of my control.
Surely that is all the bad luck used up. Surely. I hope so.
Thank you.
God, this sport is brutal.
It is, but, rules are rules, and it's very clear in the regulation. If you speed in the pit lane in the race, you get a 5-second penalty. If you don't serve that penalty in the pit stop, then it's a drive-through penalty. It's pretty clearly laid out, so I don't think there's a lot of ground to stand on there. Yes, a lot of people got done for pit lane speeding, but that is the regulation.
Taking the engineering line there,
Very
right?
engineering line.
The thing is, though, he'll be saying, look, how many were there? It was six or seven.
Yeah, there were.
Speeding things.
But talking about George, did you not find it strange that he stopped for tyres?
Yeah, so...
Because Hadjar didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And he ended up in front of him.
Exactly, and that's, I think, what Ant was trying to say, was that he was told not to stop. The pit wall will have worked out with the 5-second penalty where that would left him. I actually think he's very lucky, because when the pit wall have told you not to stop and you stop, it's very unusual to have the tyres in the pit box. We remember Daniel Ricciardo from a few years ago where the tyres weren't here. So I think in one way Russell was lucky there, but the penalty wasn't served.
Yeah, but the pit lane speeding thing, I mean, it just seemed like, there's got to be...
Do you want me to give my 2 takes on that?
Go on.
So I'm just saying it's not a distance thing, it's a time thing or a speed thing. That is correct. But the way they monitor the speed is actually a distant thing. So think of when you're on, I don't know, any of the motorways in the UK and you've got the gantries. How they do it is they look at, okay, what time were you in this position? What time were you in this position? Yeah. The time between them is how they work out your average speed through that.
So like an average speed camera.
Exactly.
On the
it's the same in the pit lane. They look at one point, okay, he crosses that at that time, he crosses the next point X amount of time later. What is the speed through that? So I think by cutting the corner more in the race, because they're pushing it harder than they were in practice, in that zone they have been over the 60, all of them by a very small amount. Zach Brown said that it looked correct in data. And the final little thing is it's unusual pit entry here because you're coming from a slower speed into the limiter. Normally you're coming from a higher speed down to the limiter, so sometimes that catches the software out a little bit. So
you can go through the limiter.
Exactly. There's a few things where it just takes the limiter a second to catch up with the fact that you're accelerating into it.
Either way, he is 68 points behind his teammate. That is almost 3 race victories. It is a mountain now, mountain to climb for George Russell. But the person that's leapfrogged him actually second in the standings is Lewis Hamilton, and his fine form continues. Yes, Charles was a little bit unlucky, but Lewis has maximised everything that he needed to do today.
Yeah, the Mercedes, I was really impressed at several points in the race. Kimi Antonelli's pace, the gap he was able to open to the Ferrari, and you think, oh, maybe they're managing a bit and they're going to come back, but they just didn't have an answer at several points in the race. And, how good is it to see this happy, regenerated Lewis Hamilton, putting it together on Monaco, and like Jensen says, a faultless weekend, really, for
He did, and he was building up to it in the race. For me, I don't know how Kimi's able to go off the line and drive flat out from the word go. He pulled almost 3 seconds in one lap at the start of the race. And Lewis was probably taken aback a little bit, but from there on, he drove really well, and I'm sure he's reasonably happy with a P2 and standing on that podium.
Reasonably happy. He would have loved a win. Hasn't had one since 2019, but second to Matt. A generational talent indeed. Let's hear from the man himself. Here is Kimi Antonelli.
Kimi, it is absolutely incredible. 5th consecutive win of the season. Last year and first this year. I mean, it's crazy. It's like a dream that you are turning into a reality.
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible moment to live. Of course, it's still a long season, and still many races to go, and every race weekend is going to be a new experience. But so far, it's been great, and with the team, we've been doing an incredible job. just we've been really. I think what we've been doing really well is executing things, not getting carried away by the moment, just really trying to focus on what was ahead and trying to execute it as the best way as possible. So I think this weekend was, we did really well on that side, especially the team. The turnaround that they did with the setup was pretty significant, and that allowed me to have even more confidence in the car.
Yeah, I mean, you literally haven't put a foot wrong all weekend. That standing start, was there a bit of pressure there? Because clearly you've turned from feeling the pressure to leveraging it, making it sort of instinctive, if you like, to drive.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I try to embrace the pressure as much as possible. Because I don't want to I don't want to let the pressure destroy me like it did last year in the European season. So of course I try to embrace the pressure, the challenge, and I try to enjoy it as much as possible without worrying about anything else other than just driving. So for sure it was a good test today, because with the red flag, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit annoyed because also getting the mindset back into redoing a full start was not easy, but it was a good test on that side, and I'm happy I didn't fail.
Really well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Well, considering all that, relief at the end of the day, because yeah, he did have everything thrown at him.
Yeah, it was tough out there, in that first stint, particularly with the car was looking quite slow. He managed to keep Russell behind for several laps of the race, really, and that made his race, that first sort of stint when things weren't going well. The second stint, the pace looked a lot better, and they kept their head, stuck to the strategy, made it work.
He definitely let the team know that he had a problem, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
It was impressive. But I think, it's always stressful around here anyway, and then you throw an issue into the mix. He's lucky it was Monaco, to be fair, because it's still difficult to overtake if you're placing your car right. But no, nice job by him. That would be relief, as you said, of getting a nice podium here in Monaco.
Probably further stressed as well by what happened to his teammate, because off the line, power unit problem for Max Verstappen, which actually denied us what we thought would be a great fight at the front between himself and Kimi and the two Ferraris.
Yeah, I can only imagine as a driver, when you know your teammate's out with an engine issue and you feel like your engine's not performing, the pit wall have said, yeah, we can see an issue, we're just trying to get you a fix, then you're just sort of thinking, how long is this going to go on? How long can I hold on to it? And I guess sometimes maybe drivers want to make sure that we all know that if he gets overtaken, it's not his fault, it's someone else's fault as well.
As far as we understand, basically, that under the red flag, it sounded like his side of the garage was working on the car, and it's an infringement for that sake, which is why they're looking at it at the moment. I hope for his sake that it's not taken away from him.
Yeah, there'll be certain things you're allowed to do under red flag conditions, like you're allowed to change the headrest or the steering wheel or, the front wing angle. If you're changing, let's say, the front wing, you're meant to change it for a like-for-like part. So there might be a bit of back and forth to explain whatever work was being done, and you can almost guarantee that complaint came from another team up and down the pit.
They were queried apparently about the work they were doing and reverted to the previous state. So whether that will be a mitigating factor, you never know, do you, with these things?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many penalties in
this
race.
Yeah, I know.
We did lose track a little bit, and it's like nobody wanted to finish third today.
It was processional, and then of course when Lance Stroll went into there, it all kicked off.
10 laps to go.
It's like, blow your mind.
But that is Monaco. You just can't rest. There's always something that potentially can happen, and you sometimes go through the race where no position really changes, and then, like you say, in the last 10, it's just take the ball and throw them up.
The only person that didn't have an issue this race was Kimi, out in front. And he's got that sort of monkey off his back of bad starts. Now he's complete. Now it's going to be really difficult to beat.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at Max's start. I think we can again. And
Obviously, podium on the road, where you probably feel you deserve to be right now, up there, tasting the champagne. Just talk me through the penalties that clearly a lot of people are scratching their heads over.
Right now, honestly, I'm just heartbroken. I don't have the words. I have too much emotions to process, and I just can't get my head around what happened, and it just doesn't sound fair. I mean, triple checking with the team, they set the right speed in the car, on both occasions, I've put the pit limiter way before the line, and yeah, I mean, we're all working so hard for this moment. In 10 years I do this, 10 years I try to grab every opportunities. I have 5 podiums, which is nothing in my career, and we passed the road in 3rd position in front of all the French people, and it gets taken away from us. So right now I just don't know what to say.
Given the amount of drivers who are saying the same thing as you, surely something can be said and done.
I hope they can have a look into it and just make the right decisions. As I said, from our side, I know I haven't done anything wrong, and I'm 200% sure I was before the line. The team set the right speed from what they said, and yeah, hopefully they can investigate it. But it won't give me that moment away. I've just been watching the podium, and yeah, I definitely feel that should have been up there.
So you think the team will appeal?
I don't know, honestly, I have no idea. I think they will obviously fight it. It's, 9 points that we're losing a podium. Honestly, I have no idea.
And a moment in history for you. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, he's clearly absolutely livid. I suppose I feel sorry for all of them, but I'm going back to my point. You're saying that you look at he's potentially missed out on a podium. George, his whole race unravelled as a result of this, and you can't, retrospectively doing that. You can't account for all the penalties it's taken George out of it. But at least for him, it's as he said, 9 points. It's potentially being on a podium in front of large French support here in Monaco.
Yeah, I think Jensen was just saying off air that lots of people got penalties, so you can't just take the penalty off Ghazi and say, oh, if everyone else got their penalties for pit lane speed and I didn't get mine, so there's that to put into it. But I think that something in the teams run this so close to the wire. They go through every session in practice, look at what the pit lane speed limit comes out from the FIA side against their system, and they eke up to it. They get closer and closer because there is an advantage for going faster in the pit lane. Now, let's see if anything happens from the FIA. In my opinion, from a regulation point of view, a pit lane speed cannot be appealed post-race. It's applied in the race, and that's it done. So maybe they'll investigate and something will change for next year, but I don't think anything's going to change from penalty side.
Okay, let's get a happier Frenchman, albeit that still under investigation, is Isaac Hadjar, who did get the 3rd podium position.
Well, Isaac, before we talk about any possible penalty, I think you need to enjoy this moment of being on the podium. You had so much to manage this weekend. And
too much.
Too much? Yeah, but proved not to be too much for you.
Yeah, honestly, I face also more issues than people can think during the race. It was not nice out
Tell
there.
us.
No, I can't. But
Do you see the stress on your face?
There's a few, I had engine issues, drivability issues. The car was very hard to drive. The starts first start was very good, the second one I had no power. Final stint I was struggling with the engine as well, but the team were very reactive on switches to get me back to it, and honestly, very draining. But to be standing on that podium in Monaco, Monaco always does good to me, so yeah.
I bet it felt good. Now, I have to talk about the work that was done on your car under the red flag. The statement has said, when queried about their works, they did stop working and reverted the car to its previous state without replacing any parts. Does that give you confidence you're going to hold on to this podium?
Honestly, I trust my boys. They've been in Formula One as long as I've been on Earth, so I think they know what they're doing. And if it doesn't stick, then I'm okay with that as well. I had my podium. The emotions are still here, so it's okay.
Well, we will wait with bated breath,
yes.
But for now, congratulations, enjoy it, you deserve it.
Merci.
Thank you. It's been a fantastic weekend for you. I know that not the win today, but you pretty much did everything else right. Was it just a case of not having the pace to match Mercedes today?
Kimi was he was amazing today. He's been amazing all weekend. I think Mercedes clearly have been ahead of everybody for quite some time, and we couldn't match them. Unfortunately, he did a phenomenal job, and I'm so grateful that I get to witness him in his moment. And this is his moment, you know. So I'm really grateful that I could just be up there and get to share it and see that. Very, very thankful to my team, because coming from such a horrendous year last year, finally in a position where I'm like reigniting the passion and belief that they had in me when I first joined, and after a really big slump we had last year, to come back up. It's great to see the fight in them. They're doing a fantastic job, and we've got a lot of work to try and close that gap.
Well, it's a lovely thing to say about Kimi. Also, great that you feel at more one with the car now, and you're second in the Drivers' Championship.
I know, I can't believe that.
Which is crazy. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Good to have you back up there.
No, it feels really great.
And what about Barcelona? Is that a track that you think Ferrari will go well at?
I mean, we go back to straights, long straights, so you can imagine. You saw. I think the news came out either yesterday or today that Red Bull have the most powerful engine, Mercedes second, and then we're behind. So we've got now these tokens to try and develop and close the gap. But that's like a 8 to 10 month project, you know. So it's not something we can just do next week. So we'll be pushing as hard as we can to see how we can close that up. But for next week, I think hopefully we'll be able to add some components to the car to try and close the gap to them. But it's going to be hard to beat them. And they're just on another level at the moment, which I'm really happy for them. You know, it's my whole family, my whole team, and when they're at their best, they're very, very, very hard for anyone to beat.
Well, for now, enjoy your podium. You deserve it. Thank you.
UO tokens to play catch up.
Yeah, so Eddie
They
Rowe,
are.
for anyone that's not familiar, but they've evaluated the engine post-Canada, and then people that they think are sort of a deficit with their engine power, they're going to give them an extra opportunity to develop it, which that's, I think, the first confirmation that we've had from anyone getting
It
those
was, wasn't
tokens,
it? Yeah.
So it was meant to be decided by the end of this weekend, and I think Ferrari, the engine development, they will have something in the background ready to go.
Yeah, totally, and it's a positive weekend for them. But Lewis is already looking, as a world champion does, at the next race, which is going to be a little bit trickier. But it's still a circuit that you need good aerodynamics. Barcelona. It's not just all about the straights. Maybe a bit more like Canada. So I still think they'll be competitive there.
Let's see. Right, let's end on a very, very positive note, because both of the Racing Bulls with a massive haul of points. Congratulations, guys. 5th and 6th for Liam Lawson and Arvid Limit. Let's start with you, Liam. I mean, we were having a conversation out the front of your garage, and I think you had a word with MP
I was
saying...
probably looking quite depressed at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to race.
No. Boo, got it out. I mean, credit to that side of the garage.
Yeah, honestly, a massive job this weekend. Honestly, from where we started the weekend, we weren't very quick, and then we've honestly chased the car way more than we normally do, and was in a good place in quali. And then, yeah, today, turned up to the garage and we had quite a big issue, and I saw the car in pieces and didn't think I was racing. So to put it together and just go and have a car that's very competitive is great.
I was thinking when I walked past the garage at one point, were both cars in difficulty previous? Was your car in some issues as well?
Yeah, we'd had issues as well. So I mean, yeah, my guys have been working, I don't know, since 9 o'clock for it. I think Liam had an issue a bit later. So massive job from the mechanics, from everyone on the RBPT to get both cars out, because I think there was a chance that neither of us were going to start. And thank God we did, because the result for the team was pretty special.
First of all, I'm loving the outfits, guys. These are pretty spectacular.
Both matching, actually.
Loving the guns. Nice work. That's it, really.
We worked hard on them, to be fair. So,
Do you?
well, it's actually, Monaco's a physical race as well, obviously. Yeah. I mean, you had no power steering one time, I remember.
Yeah,
I
that
remember
was
watching
not
that race.
a pretty race.
So, I mean, it's a bit nicer than that. But that's what F2 is pretty much like, to be fair. Those guys are just battling with no power steering. So
How is it in the traffic here? Because obviously it's your first time racing, and we spoke before the race. Frustrations from yesterday. Obviously a great race today. How was it in the traffic out there?
Not very fun, to be honest. I mean, the first part of the race, actually, the pace was faster than I expected. So I was able to go reasonably quick. Then obviously the Williams started playing games, and these cars are designed to be going flat out, not 3-4 seconds off. Since things stop working, and then you almost they're slowing you down, so you're almost going to crash into them, but then things aren't working properly, so then the systems start working against you, and it's actually hard to just keep it on track. So it wasn't very fun for that part of it. I was also on a 50-lap old tyre that had, seen better days. So it wasn't the most fun, but obviously the red flag came out at a really nice time for us. We rolled the dice on the strategy, but it paid off in our favour.
That's the thing, though. We were discussing that with Monaco. Whilst at times it can seem quite processional, you've got to have your wits about you, being ready to react when the moment occurs. And it came late on, but nevertheless, everyone seems to be on point for you guys today.
Honestly, that's the thing here. I mean, my whole race, I was by myself. I didn't see a car in front of me or behind me for pretty much 50 or 60 laps. And I really didn't know much was going on. So I was just driving my own race, and then it went from 50 laps of that to safety cars. And the warm-up was super hard here. Obviously, this issue on the track at the last corner, which we started to feel. And
you could feel it.
You could see it building up, and there was a lot of rubber that was building up, and the track was, I haven't seen it like in person, but I guess it was cutting away, and it became very slippery.
Yeah, I don't really know what it was. I thought it was marbles, but maybe I couldn't see properly.
Yeah, it was the tarmac.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember that I was just driving around, and I almost put it in the fence a couple times. Then you started turning in so early, like unnaturally early. And then I was able to get Alex, actually.
I was going to say, is that the reason?
Yeah, that was the way I was able to get him. That he obviously turned in a bit too late, got stuck on it, and then I was able to get him on the main straight, which was helped me out.
Actually, because that's an on-track overtake at Monaco.
Yeah, Monaco's quite rare, isn't it?
It's rare as hen's teeth. So talk us through.
He must have had something.
It doesn't look very spectacular, does it? Let's be honest. I mean, I just drove past him.
I was just going to ask about that. You know, that overtake got you in the position to get the strategy to work from then on. We debate this a lot, the driver pit wall interaction. How confident were you in the pit wall when you went through 2 safety cars and still didn't pit under a safety car to make it to the red flag? Were you thinking, this sounds a bit crazy that the pit wall are doing here?
A little bit, yeah. I didn't really know what was going on, you know, because obviously I'd been running around. Yeah, I think I was P8 on track at the time, and I saw safety cars like, right, okay, I'm gonna pit, and they were like, no, stay out. And I think I asked about 3 times, are you sure? But they, you know, in the end, I don't also have the full picture, you know. They see a lot more than me, so I followed their decision. I think I don't still know because I haven't properly spoke to ask them why, but I think the reason was that if I pitted under the safety car with the way the gaps were, I think I would have filed out of the points. So it was kind of like, yeah, great, it's a free pit stop, but I come out in 11th. There's no cherry for that. So I think it was kind of hope for a safety car.
Liam, it's very nice of you, by the way, to let us into your flat for one of the pieces that we ran. So now, after this, I don't know if you're going to get a bonus or anything, but you might be able to afford a bed in the other room and some inches for the art.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple of art. They just need to go up on the wall. I do need some new chairs, and I do need a second bed. I just want to confirm that my room does have a bed, because I've been getting a lot of questions about not having a bed. But I do. So, yeah, I just need a second one. But I do need it's a guy's apartment, so I don't know.
The glamour of it. Well, are you ready for a swim? If you feel like
we actually might jump in.
Close to a win, isn't it?
Well, for us, it's a good result. You know, it feels very good, especially from where we started the weekend and obviously where we started the race as well.
Should we take your mics off? If you want to go in, that's fine. Thanks, guys. Oh, into that one. Okay, well, we'll follow you down. We'll get someone to follow. Well done, boys. Appreciate your time. Double points finish for the Racing Bulls. What a weekend. Actually, one of the finest Saturdays we've seen here in the Principality, but absolutely faultless by Kimi Antonelli. Thanks to Genta, thanks to Bernie. We'll see you next weekend in Barcelona. 5 in a row for the young Italian. Amazing.